of seconds before this goal. Yeah, so Seamus, I think we're streaming.
Are we?
Yeah, it's according to some of my stuff. There's my camera. Hello, I'm not using the laptop camera. It's crap.
What can't see you?
What are you doing? Hey, we didn't even talk off air what we're going to talk about this week at all.
Sorry, listen. Let's try this, Spud. Why don't you email me the stuff as we're talking, and we'll make it up as we go? Because that's been working well for us for the last 11 episodes.
I sent it to you about 6 hours ago. You didn't get it, no?
I was at AA. I was having a wank. I was doing lots of things that I couldn't. Hang on there now. The comedy cast is live. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, hello.
Ah, there you are.
No, see, where'll I send you this thing? I send it on Facebook. All right. So you know the running order. So we've already started.
I know the running order. I have the whole fucking thing up in front of me. Don't worry about that, man.
That's fair enough. Yeah, there's something. So we're live streaming this today on Thursday. I'll put out an edited version over the weekend. Coming out today, there's an interview with Siobhan Brosnan. It's done. It's going to come out. Yeah, Brozzy's going to come out in a couple hours' time. It's a really good one. She's a great laugh and
very funny lady with quite possibly the best Stephen Hawking joke I've ever heard.
That's exactly what I wrote in the blurb for it. The Stephen Hawking joke she does is amazing. I couldn't believe she's only 6 months at it. I thought that was mad. I thought she was much longer at it.
Yeah, it surprises me. It goes to show you how shy I actually am sometimes. It's just like, I've been at this 6 months. I've been at it. She came down to Thursday night because she was late. She said to me that I ended up throwing her on last. She ended up headlining a set she wasn't prepared for. Yeah. And in fairness, now that she's even gone up higher in my esteem now that I know she's only been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was able first. No, fair play to her to headline after probably her first headline thing after 6 months. That's amazing. Anyway,
yeah, but you know when she's on Mock the Week, she's never going to fucking mention that shit. Never.
No, probably not. No. Anyway, Seamus, it's an awful slow news week, and you know, we kind of put my cards on the table last week by telling people who haven't already picked up on it that in an effort to make sure that we don't repeat ourselves, we try and keep this podcast kind of topical, but then we also speak about some comedy kind of themes as well. But man, it's an awful fucking slow news week, man. There's nothing happening in the world.
That's very, very true. All the paedophiles must have been caught. Fucking all the celebrity paedophiles must be on holiday in Thailand or something. I don't know what's fucking going on. There's not even a politician to make fun of.
It's awful.
You know, it's ridiculous. Unless you count the Healy Ray sons, because they're bouncers now apparently. Well, bouncers assault charges is technically the same thing.
Are they involved with this? There's this the radio there down in Kerry. Kerry Radio has bought Tipperary Radio and Clare Radio. Is that right?
Yeah, Radio Kerry is sacrosanct. So after last week and the death threats I received from numerous members of the Rubber Bandits, I had to be very, very careful this week about insulting anybody. Radio Kerry is your standard local radio. It always figures high in those national radio awards. So it must be doing something right, and they've quite a good few current affairs. But the fact that they've bought Tip FM and Limerick FM means fuck all to anybody outside of Kerry. It means an awful lot to Limerick people and Tipperary people, because now there's another accent they'll have to understand on the radio. You know.
Yeah, but are them lads involved in it in any way? The Healy Rays? There's any brown envelopes that you've heard about?
No, not that I've heard of.
I read something during the week.
Yeah, go on, man.
I read something during the week that they're not so squeaky clean, and they're always giving out about the post office, wanting more money for the post office because so many members of the Healy Ray family work in the post office.
Yeah, Kilgarvan, which is basically Healy Ray City, which is basically four pubs. One of them is the Healy Rays, a shop and a post office. That's the Healy Rays, and there's another tiny local shop. And I always, when the very, very rare occasions myself and Carol drive to Kilgarvan, I always imagine that shop was initially a massive shop until the Healy Rays came in mafia style and just betted into a small, tiny shop. Because they have a mace. They're either they own Mace or Maine's owns them. I'm not quite fucking sure how it works. But yeah, in fairness to them, they get a lot of slack, but they do an awful lot of good for the people. It's just people seem to concentrate on the fact that they're idiots. Be honest.
Which they are. I mean, they can do a lot for their community and still be stupid, and we can still make fun of them. But yeah, but they get roast beef. That's what they're there for.
Yeah,
it's politics. You know what I mean? Like
it is too.
It's the easiest thing for people to get annoyed about is politics. I think it's because most people just don't really know what really happens in politics.
I have no idea what happens in politics. I know that when we got married, Michael Healy raised very, very. This has been all over the news. He sends fucking letters out of congratulations for everything. And I remember where I was working, manager John came in one day and we're talking about a funeral. There was a funeral in Kerry, and apparently years and years ago, there was this very small house in the west of Kerry, out by Dingle. And the gentleman who was mourning, so the house was so small, people were coming in through the front door, pay their respects and go out the back door. And next thing, this limousine pulls up, and Jackie Healy-Rae, Danny Healy-Rae, and Michael Healy-Rae get out of it. And they walk up to the gentleman who's sitting outside having a smoke. They don't realise that he's one of the chief mourners. And Jackie Healy-Rae looks at him and goes, "Could you tell me before we go in if it's a he or a she?" And and that typifies them. Fucking anything for a photo op, like.
Yeah. But there was something, wasn't there? There was something I was reading. Shane Ross. I think Shane Ross got in a bit of trouble with people because he was calling on, not parishioners. What's the word? Constituents over Christmas, and it's like, well, do you want to be? Like, he can't win here. Like, I mean, he calls into people to see how they're getting on, and then he gets in trouble for it. So, like, what the fuck, like.
Yeah, I mean, what's the ad going to be next year? Hello, I'm Seamus. This Christmas, I'm old and I'm elderly. I'd like someone to call on me, not a politician. I'd rather die in my own piss and vomit.
Not a politician, not a brown person. Yeah, that's what it'll be,
Or not, none of them yellow types either, because they're nearly brown.
There was something else about politics as well I wanted to put. It's gone out of my head. Fuck, oh, gone. This is the worst thing about live streaming now. You have to be kind of on the ball a bit more.
Right.
This fella who wants to kill dogs, that probably annoyed you, huh? You being the big dog lover you are.
To be honest with you, there's times I go, why does suicide exist in the world? And this guy has a shotgun, and I'm thinking, fucking get him together. Look down, do that old Looney Tunes thing of looking down the barrel of the gun to see if it's fucking loaded before you pull the trigger. There's a certain point to me, no matter how moronic I find a person, there's a certain point to me where the argument it's like a live line stream, and as my arm is going across the screen now, like this is me understanding the argument, and then this happens, and I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm gone. I'm gone. I've given you enough time today. That's enough. And when I read this, I was like, okay, I'm all like, I'd kill another human quicker than I'd kill a fucking dog.
It depends how hungry I am.
No. Like the wife often said to me, joking, I suppose I'd go before the dogs. I'd be like, yeah. And people watching this looking at how serious I am. Yep, I'm 100% serious. I don't understand. Like, people always go, oh, dogs are vicious. Dogs don't make dogs vicious. Humans make dogs vicious.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I remember a couple of years ago, myself and my wife, Inch Beach, we didn't drive when you were there. It's about 20 minutes away from us, but it's a very, very long stretch of beach. So because our dogs are very, very affectionate, and actually, they would be good gropers in a nightclub, in fairness to the two of them, and you've witnessed this. We went far enough down the beach in Inch, so anyone who doesn't like dogs would be walking towards us and would see two dogs and go, do you know what? I'm going to walk back up the beach now because I don't like dogs. So why would I walk towards two dogs off a leash, running around, playing a bit of fun? So this simpleton was walking down the fucking beach one day with her husband, and Bella ran off. And you know the house yourself, Bella's a licky dog.
Yeah.
Bella was all over the woman.
Very
affectionate. And the woman jumped up like fucking Bella was trying to rape her or something. She was, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm like, okay, Bella come back. And Bella came back, but because Bella was a pup at the time, she ran back after the woman. So the woman bent down to pick up a stick. And I went, all right, we're going to see how this plays out now, are we? So I went, Carl, I saw him to boot the car, and I took out my hurl. And Bella was still running after her, and the woman raised the stick to Bella. I said, look, just so we're under no illusions here, if you hit my dog with that stick, I'm going to come down and beat the two of you with the hurl. And then the husband went, don't involve me, she picked the stick up.
Coward.
And then I went in from wanting to hit her to fucking hitting him. But I don't understand. I don't understand where this man is coming from. That like you could like people are going. It's his right. It's his land. Do you know? But you know he's threatening people. He's threatening dogs. He's threatening people with dogs.
I'm not too sure you have a right to threaten animals, though. Do you have you don't have a right to threaten animals.
You don't have a right to threaten anybody.
Exactly. Well, no, I mean, an animal isn't an anybody; it's an anything, isn't it?
Yeah, don't you start. Fuck off.
Semantics. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you know, I never like. I'm very, very hypocritical. I used to see
like
all
the
these
way
people.
Seamus, you always have your hurl with you, though. That's a proper Kilkenny man. That is.
Yeah. Well, do you know, I used to do this bit when I was on stage, and you said people in Kilkenny do two things: those who can't hurl. Sorry, those who can't drink hurl, and those who can't hurl. And then I'd lift up a pint and neck it down. But I can't do that anymore. And I did do it one night after I got sober, and I did it with non-alcoholic beer. And my wife was in the front row having Vietnam flashbacks. It's like she was being riddled with bullets. She was like, oh, but yeah, have the hurl with me because the dogs go swimming out on the beach and stuff like that. But this guy, I'm talking about myself too much. This guy is a fucking lunatic and needs to be stopped.
Yeah, I looked him up. There's a Wikipedia page and all about this fella. His name's Andy McSherry. He's called the Bull for some reason, probably because he's as angry as one. But
no. Apparently, he looks very like the Bull McCabe in the field. That's why.
All right, you mean what was his name? Richard Harris.
Richard Harris.
Yeah. He doesn't. No, I don't think so.
But Richard Harris only killed an American, and that's totally okay. You can't. Given who their president is, if we keep killing Americans, we'll eventually get to him.
You know, Richard Harris's story about his the first time playing Macbeth. Jesus looked that up. That's where he makes a fool of the English actor. The English actor was looking down on him because he was an Irishman, and I can't. It's too long and too good of a joke, Seamus. Look it up. Richard Harris Shakespeare joke. It's fantastic.
I must have a look at that because I like Richard Harris. I remember. Do you remember that time Russell Crowe got nominated for the BAFTA for A Beautiful Mind, and he pinned your man to the fucking wall? That was because he wouldn't allow him read out a poem in honor of Richard Harris's passing.
All right.
Useless fact, but it might win a table quiz. So pay attention.
Anyway, looked up this fella. He's got a history of threatening
mental health issues,
violence to people, and it's led me to actually kind of inspired by you because I know you're back with your satirical Inside the Kingdom.
Yeah, the way that's going at the moment, that might only last the fucking weekend.
So I'm going to start doing the odd news kind of satire thing as well. So I wrote a satirical piece about this where I interview Mr. McSherry, and we come to the conclusion that the reason he wants to shoot dogs is because he's had his heart broken by a dog who upped and left him, and he doesn't know what to do about it, and he just thinks all dogs are bastards now, and he hates all dogs.
Yeah,
it, you know, we have an exclusive interview with Andy McSherry on thecomedycast.com. Check it out there.
Yeah, poor old Andy needs to go get fucked.
But you know, I mean, look, I feel sorry for people like him because he obviously has some mental health thing going on that he won't address. Maybe he's too much of a macho man in Sligo there with his shotgun or whatever. And it's like I reckon you'll have seen this a lot as well. You know the crazy lady Gemma O'Doherty. What's her name?
Well, that's fucking
Well, she gets a lot of stick on people from the internet because she's gone like balls deep into conspiracy theories and Davos and all like that. And
that's because no man has ever gone balls deep in her.
No, that's not true, man. I worked with her in the Indo.
I thought you work for the Indo.
Ah, well,
temporary. I knew when you were in my house, I could smell the Protestant off you. I fucking knew it.
Smell the Fine Gael blue shirt off you. No. It was only temporary. But she was sitting right beside me, and she was lovely. And her husband was the editor of the features department. He's since died. He got a horrible disease and died very, very quickly. And I'm hypothesizing here, but her downfall has been since she divorced him and he died in such a horrible way. And it's only since then I feel sorry for her. When I knew her, I only worked with her for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She was grand. She was very nice, very open, she was very, very helpful to me. And
I keep
feel
forgetting.
sorry for her because she's like, I think no one else kind of sees that she's kind of losing her marbles and no one's helping her. People are just making fun of her.
I keep forgetting that we're live streaming, so every now and again I look at the camera and I go, "Oh fuck, I have to look interested." No disrespect to Spot, my mind goes off in tangents. You see, I think that's what it is, and as an attentive comedian, it's easier sometimes to go straight to the punchline of what, oh, he's a fucking idiot, or he's a cunt, or she's this, that, or whatever, without going, right, there might actually be a legitimate reason why this person is the way they are.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to spend the 4 hours sitting down and trying to psychoanalyze them. I'd rather spend 30 seconds ripping them to shreds. But you see, does that make me a part of the problem or part of the solution?
I don't know.
Probably
pro solution. I don't know. I mean, but then again, I mean, I only feel sorry for her because I've met her and worked with her. That's the only reason. Like, I feel a bit sorry for this McSherry fella because, you know, obviously something is very wrong, and he's been involved with many things over the years where he's threatened people. He went to jail for threatening.
Yeah, he went to jail for 3 weeks rather than fucking pay the fine. And you know what?
Rather than pay 300 quid, like, what the fuck is wrong with him?
Well, I remember years and years ago, my grandmother was friends, and that means fucking gentleman, and he got sent to prison years and years ago for punching a man who threatened his wife. And he got sent to a prison up the north. And when he came out, he said he cried coming out because it was the best week he ever spent in his life.
Did he get some action or something?
He got free. I think he got free shoes or butter vouchers. One of the fucking other Asian stables or something.
Free gonorrhea. That's all he got.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I wonder how much of that goes on in Irish prisons, though. Like, is there much, you know, riding that goes on? I have no idea.
I haven't never been to prison or haven't ever ridden a man.
No, I know a few lads that have been to jail, all right, but I don't know them well enough to ask them, like, well, did you get raped? It's a strange question to ask someone.
There is usually because I'm such a fucking smart arse, I'd follow that up with, you know, did you ever get raped? And they'd look at you really bewildered. You'd be like, oh, I was just wondering, do you want it? You know. That's why I'll never host my own podcast.
In prison, do they give you a reach around or what? Like, well,
here's the thing: you watch all these things like fucking Oz and all this stuff, and prison's meant to be really, really bad and all this type of shit. But I've never actually sat down and be like, is it like Oz with any prisoner? I've never sat down. Like, I've never, you know, I'll probably never get to meet a serial killer. So, like, I'll never sit down. Like, is it all like Silence of the Lambs? Is it like that? Did you have a nice bottle of Chianti? I have no fucking idea, man.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. I don't know. I need to ask. I know someone who was a prison guard from the ladies' prison in Portlaoise, and the next time I meet her,
well, there'd be no reach arounds in that prison anyway. Sorry.
I wonder how much because I remember working in Finglas for nearly 2 years one time, and Jesus, the characters I met up there, and I met a load of lads who had been to jail, and I could never fucking drum up the courage to ask them. But then again, some of them were IRA lads, so I know that doesn't go on with the IRA. It goes on in the Gen Pop. You know what I mean? I'm giving away far too many details. We should not be live streaming, man. I'm going to get myself shot.
We should be not live. No, that's not to say that there aren't homosexual members of Sinn Féin or the IRA or Sinn Fairies, as they're more commonly known.
Each to their own, you know.
What do you do? I'm a Sinn Fairy. Yeah, there you go. The worst Nordy accent ever. Anyway, can we move on to something else before fucking I see a van with Semtex pull up outside my house?
I want to talk about your sex diet. Because you've been putting up daily posts on Facebook about how you're doing a diet, and it all involves sex. How's it been going?
It hasn't been going, to be honest with you. I'm just tilting my wife something horrible over this.
It's great though.
It's I have had people from work adding me on Facebook to see the daily update. I think today's one will end up being incontinence pants or something. I'll have to find something. What happens is every January, Carol's mum goes on a big, huge diet craze. And like we tend to stay away from the house during January because that's when Operation Transformation's on, and that's when Carol's mum is trying to be overly helpful but isn't. And I have a big issue with weight loss. I have a big issue with I'm not as big as anorexics, but I have a big issue with it. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
In what way? Like you think it's bullshit?
I think there's too much pressure on people, and we spoke about this last week. We're not repeating ourselves. Just listen to last week's bucket episode. We're not talking about but the pressure on women to lose weight and to look the way society deems they should look, because everybody in society who is of a higher power or has more YouTube followers than you obviously knows what you should look like or what you should weigh better than you do. So go listen, go watch their videos and fucking slice your wrists, because that's not how you're meant to look. Being honest, you're meant to look and feel comfortable how you are. And my wife puts an awful lot of pressure on herself to lose a bit of weight every fucking year. It doesn't help when I can eat a bar of chocolate, get thin, but also my prostate could fall out because I'm a diabetic, so we don't fucking know. And I have a major issue with it. I have a major issue with fucking. I have friends who would be heavy, but I don't see them as that way. I don't see them the way society sees them. I don't see them as a punchline either, because I make a joke about everything. You know, but I just think fucking. So when Carol said to me, I might join, I might go back and do the Slim World or the Unislim this year, my eyes went up to heaven. I'm like, oh, all right, love, yeah, no problem. So I said I tilt her a small bit. She hasn't gone back to anything, and fair play to her. She's just getting a bit of exercise and shit like that. I'd be paying money to some fucking idiot to go to walk, because that's what she was doing with Unislim. That's what she was doing to Unislim. She was paying some tick bitch €10 a week to wear. I'm like, I could buy you a fucking weighing scales in Argos for 20 quid, and you could fucking, you know, I'll roll red carpet down the stairs and play fucking music every week, and you want to go up and wear it, no problem, like. And of course, that's not being a supportive husband, but neither is tilting her every night of the week. She's terrified. She's like, what are you putting up about me today?
Oh, man, you're very lucky she has a good sense of humour, though.
I like it's the one thing about her, like, and again, when I do say, she never hears stuff I say nice about her on the podcast. She heard it last week because I played it to her. She's like, I'm not listening to that podcast anymore. People must think I'm a thick bitch. I'm like, no, I've said something nice about you this week, and she's like, okay. But she genuinely, because I've even had a couple of guys said to me working their marriage, like, if that was my wife on Facebook, I'd be killed. I'd be fucking killed. So I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. I have a woman in my life who can take a joke. Yeah. Take a joke, and Joe, in fairness, but the whole weight loss thing bothers me, because people go through this whole fucking New Year's resolution thing, and I have to lose weight, I have to be this, I have to be that, I have to be the other thing. You don't. You just be comfortable with who you are. Don't be looking at. Don't be. You know. I remember when I was 23 stone at one stage.
Beat the fuck,
yeah. I was. I was a nighttime eater. Like, my grandmother would wake me up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and she'd be cooking cabbage, bacon, and spuds. 5 slices of bread, a big, huge, gigantic cup of tea with 4 spoons of sugar in it. If I wasn't eating that, I was eating 16, 18 Super Quint donuts, 4 litres of Coke, 2 deep pan pizzas at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I'd wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know, after sleeping, because I wouldn't go for a shit or anything, like or a walk or exercise or anything, and I'd wake up with a pain in my chest. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with me? And you look at all these empty plates, you're like, no, it can't be the grease. No, it can't be the grease. And it was this hot summer's day, and I had long hair and I had a proper beard, and I was wearing those penny jogger pants. And they were like fucking. I was like I was an American tourist, because they were stuck to me. It was like Lycra, and it was like 32 degrees, and I was wearing a fleece, and I was walking by and going, must get chocolate. and I was walking past this. I was walking past this car, and I seen a reflection, and I went, "Oh, it's the size of that fat cunt." And it was fucking me. I went home, washed my hair for the first time in about a month and a half, shaved. Oh. Went down and cut my hair and stopped eating as much as I could. And then when I came down here to Kerry, I was lying in bed one night with Carol, and it was like 10:30 at night, and I was like, do you know what, I'd love a takeaway. And Jesus Christ, I've never said that again. Because she's fucking, she got out of bed. She goes, what do you mean a takeaway? It's 10:30. We don't eat after 8 o'clock in this house. And I'm like, I fucking move into my own house, so if that's the case. But yeah. love of a good woman and home cooking. I have a terrible sweet tooth, which is still going to haunt me until my teeth fall out and I lose my fingers. So fucking. But at this stage, man, I couldn't care. I'm happy. I've had a woman perform illegal acts on me, so I'm happy. I never thought there would be one. The fact that there has been one, I'm done now. Do you know?
Yeah, look,
actually,
go ahead.
Actually, when I go to Manchester, I'll be an internationally renowned comedian, which means I'll have died in my arse in 2 countries. So I'm completely done. Go on, your weight loss, man. I cut across it very rudely.
No, look, my weight goes up and down. But like when I want to lose weight, I just do that 5'2" thing and just starve myself 2 days a week, and it's grand, and it's easy enough. Just don't eat bread for a while.
What's that 5'2"? Did you finger your arse with 5 fingers, put 2 in your Mountain Dew? Is it?
Now that we have cameras, I can show you. Oh God! I hope my ma's not going to watch this, or anyone I'm related to.
Mrs. Murphy.
This is the thing, right? I agree with you on all that stuff because people put these people see, you know, lads on telly and people on telly and like Ireland's Fittest Family and all that. It's so boring, and talking about weight loss is boring. And it's just like, if you want to lose weight, just do it. It's not nearly as hard as you think it is. And I was reading something the other day as well about how like exercise leads to like pretty much no weight loss. Actually, if you start exercising, you actually put on weight because you start to build muscle, and you're like, "Why are you losing weight?" It's because you build muscle first. You
moron. That's what happened, Carol. That's what happened, Carol, when she went to Unislim. She lost all her muscle. And then she got to a certain point where she was like, "I'm not losing any more weight," and she's following the plan and shit like that. And she, in fairness to her, when she gets her fucking mindset, she can do it really well. It just doesn't help every now and again. You're going off now to get weight again, aren't you? Fucking stupid bitch. And not Carol, the woman who was weighing her. And then I see all these people on TV, and they're like, "Well, today we're talking to Sandra, and Sandra lost over 14 stone, and here's Sandra's before picture." And then they ask the stupidest question in the world. The before picture is up on the screen and Sharon can't fit in the fucking screen, and they go, "What inspired you to lose so much weight, Sharon?" Sorry, like, and you know, and all these operation transformations become like the X Factor. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this for my one-eyed, one-legged child who may never live to see me slim. Do you know, fucking, come here, just stop eating, right?
Well, that's it. You don't need to do all these like mad exercises and stuff. Just do a proper diet and you'll be grand. Anyway, let's move on. I want to tell us about Inside the Kingdom since you're starting it back.
Right. Inside the Kingdom is a satirical page that I ran a couple of years ago, and I got a lot of traction out of it. And not that no one will ever remember because Facebook disabled my fucking account, pricks. But when I was getting sober, I put up an article about a group on Tralee, and I said that one of the admins was suicidal, the other one was on 40 Xanax a day, and the other one was losing her hair. And the admin actually contacted me and told me that she was actually losing her hair, and it didn't help that my standard reply message was, "I'm too busy masturbating to give a fuck about your opinion." That was my standard setup. And at the time, at the time, early sobriety was very rough for me. I still have it from time I got very, very emotional. And when I got talking to the woman, I was like, you know what, I'm just shutting the page down. And at the time, it was too hard for me to think of characters and think of stories and shit like that. But this time, I've come back. I had a fake Facebook profile created, Mr. Satire, and it's just a picture of a random Pakistani dude with a beard. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, in for a penny, in for a pound. And I've set it back up again. It's going to be ruder, it's going to be cruder. I'm not going to be editing names or anything like that. I'm not going to get involved in wars with trolls. I assume I'll probably be kicked off Facebook by Thursday of next week, possibly.
Eventually.
But I liked it because I don't have an outlet. And see, one of the things that's happened to me is I've become very lazy. So when I get up in the morning, before I walk the dogs, that's stopped as well. And I'll either masturbate for like 3 hours solid, and before work, and then and then I'll spend the whole time hitching, looking down at my pants in the car. That's the person that picks me up going, can they see my cum stain? So I've become a bit lazy, and I want to do something. And the fact that Carol's gone on her own journey and stuff like that's inspired me a bit. I have a couple of gigs coming up. I want to write a bit more. So I said, I'll bring back Inside the Kingdom. And yeah. Good. So there you go.
Good man.
There you go.
Good man. It's pretty much the same thing, same reason why I'm going to write funny satire stuff as well, and because it's a creative outlet, you know what I mean? And it takes, there's two things I put up there. One is about this Bull McSherry. The other was about the Brexit lorry drivers. And it takes me 15-20 minutes to write stuff like that. So
yeah, but see, the Brexit thing caught me off guard, because I was reading that going, I'm an admin of this page. Why are we publishing real news? And then I read on, I was like, you got me there, you prick. Yeah, but it's even
the world needs more satire, man. Because I'm not one of these people who you know this from, we've spoken about plenty of times before.
Yeah.
I think political correctness is a good thing, because it just means that people are nice to people they don't know, or different cultures and different societies and all that. That's a very good thing. People are polite to strangers. But at the same time, I think I'm the same as you. Everything has to be made fun of, or not everything has to, but everything can be made fun of. And there shouldn't be any sacred cows, you know.
That's not entirely true. The female victims of rape are never friendly to rapists; they run away.
That's not political correctness, though.
But it's true. Yeah, I see. The thing with me with political correctness, and I was actually thinking about you the other night when I came on the television for the Roast Battle UK. It's returning for a week. There's a week-long thing on Comedy Central. I was like, I'm actually going to watch this. I'm going to see how this fucking operates. And I was watching. I was like, yeah, there's going to be no jokes, because people nowadays, the snowflake movement, as they call it, people who refer to people as snowflakes. Apparently, it's something to do with, came from the 1880s in Missouri or something.
No. It comes from Chuck Palahniuk's Fight Club. But the thing is when people say snowflake, is that they maybe they haven't seen Fight Club, or they haven't read the book, but actually the snowflake is, he says, you're not a beautiful and unique snowflake. We are the shit of the planet. You know what I mean? So when someone says snowflake, they're like, oh, you're all soft and you're a pussy and all. But actually what Chuck Palahniuk meant in Fight Club was that, well, no, snowflakes are scum of the earth. You know, we're nobodies. Or we are nobodies is the people who join these fight clubs. We need to join some kind of communities, because we're the forgotten people.
Well, you hold on to that there now, princess, right? So, it seems that the word snowflake, as it is used as an insult, originated in Missouri circa 1800 to refer to people that were against the abolition of slavery. Nowadays, it is used to refer to anyone that seems to have an overly delicate sensitivity to certain social issues, which is basically, and I read this on Facebook, so it must be true. Yeah. So I seen a friend of mine. He's not a friend of mine. I don't know him. He's a Facebook friend. He had that up, and I just thought it was interesting. But the whole PC world, PC culture, people being offended by words. I don't get it. I've tried to kill myself numerous times. I still make jokes about suicide, and I can, because I'm a suicide survivor. Anyway. And I see people getting upset about race, and I see people getting upset about all types of stuff, and you're thinking, okay, that's great. Why? At the end of the day, the world is still going to trundle on.
Look, to argue that, I don't mind. Like, if someone was to be mean about me being Irish, that would piss me off. All right, but at the same time, it's like I would be annoyed if other people were getting annoyed on my behalf, and only if it was kind of a personal thing as well, like if someone said, you're just a stupid paddy, rather than just saying, sure, they're all just stupid paddies. If someone said they're all just stupid paddies, sure, that's all right, whatever, that group's out. But if it's personal, then I'll be like, come on, there's no need for that. Like, you're being, you know what I mean? And the thing about the PC culture that I don't like is I don't like people getting offended for other people, especially when the people that you're offended for, that the people that they're offended for aren't offended.
I remember one time, it was in the early days of me being stupid. I'd linked my Twitter account to my Facebook account, and I made a very, very stupid joke. Now, it wasn't the best joke in the world. It won't win any awards. And I was like, will someone please do a Madeleine McCann with the band of 5 Seconds of Summer? And fucking someone seen it, and they messaged me, and they trundled out that brilliant line as a parent. As the mother of children, I'm highly offensive, to which I replied, that's like saying as a penguin I'm offended by penguin bars. There's no fucking point to it. I get that you're offended, but you know, to use your superiority as a mother of children, it's a bit, you know, a bit like fuck off with you. You know, the thing is, if someone comes to me and says, "Look, you genuinely really offended me," I will, hand on heart, and people who know me will notice, I will genuinely go, "Very, very sorry." Not to say I'm not going to make the same joke again in the near future, but I'm sorry I offended you. Can we move on? And if the person goes, "Yeah, I consider the matter closed," this whole fucking Eskimo being offended on behalf of all these people in Rwanda, I'm like, well done. Do you know?
Well, look. It's kind of on this, and I kind of have to call bullshit on this. There's things happening. There's this spat in Irish comedy at the minute, and it's between a comedian called Kevin McGarn, who is a proper comedian, and then this guy called Liam Nugent, funny Liam Nugent, who isn't a real comedian. He's a character comedian who is Peter McGann. And do you know what's going on here? Is this all contrived? Because these
I have no idea. I just assume it's like the Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly fucking beef. They've all been in on it to further their own careers. Now apparently your man's now going on Today FM. Which is convenient, because the guy who presents Dermot and Dave used to present the Republic of Telly, and the guy who's Kevin McGarn used to present the Republic of Telly. So I'm not joining the fucking conspiracy dots there at all.
Well, I don't think it is a conspiracy. I think this is like you remember Joaquin Phoenix did this character thing where he pretended to go mad because it was for a film role. But the thing, like, what I'm having trouble with here is that, you know, this Kevin McGann and Peter McCann and Peter McGann, they're like, no offense to anyone, but they're not high profile enough to have a kind of high profile beef, as the Yanks call it.
But see, that's fucking social media. You don't have to have a high profile to do one of two things: to go viral or have a beef. You don't need to have a high profile in anything. You just need someone to find it funny who has a lot of followers to share it, or someone who gets offended who has a lot of followers and who shares it. It's a vicious cycle of social fucking media.
But surely, Shane, and look, I mean, I really don't mean any disrespect to the comedians at all. I don't know Kevin McGarn's stuff at all. Other than the Republic of Telly, I don't know his stand up. I've watched Liam Nugent's stuff, all right, just to find out who he was. But like, surely then to go down this route is completely the wrong way, because you're only going to end up hurting your reputation long term.
I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. From my limited venture into battles with people and shit like that, I tend to stay away from them. I tend not to reply to them. I'd hate to be known as that guy who was involved in that thing with your man that time ago. That's because that's how it's usually referenced. Unless you have a really good memory, or you continuously bring it up yourself for fucking clickbait, and which I'm sure the other guy will do on the not Kevin. I don't even know who the other guy's name is. When I see that type of stuff, where someone posts this sly little thing on Facebook or Twitter, and it's like, "Oh, have you seen this?" And you can see them sitting back from their keyboard, just going,
"Yeah."
I'm just going to grab my popcorn. That's, you know, that, and to me that's the fucking that's you're even lower on the scale. If you do that type of shit, you're even lower on the scale than a child rapist, to me, being honest with you, because that's just like fucking, it makes no sense to me. And I don't see who's going to win out of this, because come next week it'll be another semi-famous comedian against another semi-famous comedian, trying to do stuff where people will the point of it, the originality of why it all happened, will be lost on everybody.
I don't get it. Like, and I put out a question on Twitter. You know, is surely this is all contrived? And the thing is, as well, is that because comedians in Ireland are petrified to fucking criticize each other, people won't really say anything. You know what I mean? They'll only say stuff in, like, there's that closed group, the Rent-A-Comic thing. There was a bit of a row in that, but that's not public. You know what I mean? And people are afraid to say something because they're like, well, I don't know if this is contrived. But like, surely if you match up the dots, it's definitely contrived.
Yeah, I mean it is, but you see that group, that Rent-A-Comic group is only useful for me personally if I'm looking for gigs, or if I'm looking for comedians for gigs. I try to stay away from all that fucking pittle pattle tittle tattle shit. This fucking, you know, my routine is funnier than yours, and well, if it's not as funny as yours, it's definitely as funny as his, because I'm like, oh, just go away from me. It should be a simple process. It should be a simple process of, I don't like that. Why? I just don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Okay. Now, it would make all arguments, especially political ones, extremely mundane and fucking boring. But, you know, you'd save a lot more time. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to watch. Is it prime time where people just be like, well, I don't agree with that. Well, why? Because I don't need to.
Yeah.
That'd be it. Like, next subject.
Yeah. Okay, because my funniest thing now. Moving on. Moving on. Child abortion. Of course, it should be illegal for children to have abortions. Right. But it's like my favorite part of those beefs is watching them. On Furl. Someone is writing a comment, and you know it's a long comment because someone is writing a comment is appearing there for like 5 minutes, and you know that person is writing that comment going, fuck, I spelled that wrong. Is it THEIR or THERE? Fucking
No, well, I mean, a good way to troll people on stuff like that is to just hit spacebar every like 3-4 seconds, and then it looks like so it looks like you're typing something really long, and then just at the end just write okay. And look, I don't really know what's going on here. I mean, if either the lads listen or friends of theirs listen, I'll have them on and talk to them about what this is all about, because I would like it to be genuine, because everyone loves to watch a good row, but at the same time it just kind of feels a bit hollow. You know?
I don't know. I'm offended by him. Why? Because it's not funny. What fucking brilliant. Do you know? There's a guy in England at the moment who's on TV show who's not funny.
We didn't really explain what it started over. So it started over this. So funny Liam Nugent is the character played by Peter McCann. He is a right-wing comedian who hates snowflakes and stuff like that. So he makes political jokes at the expense of people, at the expense of the lefty snowflakes. And then Kevin McGarren, he has come out and defended lefties and said that this fella is not funny and he's etc. So that's what it's about. The only problem is that I think they're in cahoots.
They could be, but you see, here's my thing, right? If someone says to me, I didn't like that bit you did about whatever, because there's quite a lot of bits I do that people don't like.
I have seen your act, yeah.
Yeah, and you can officially go fuck yourself. Last time I let you travel over from your country, pay your own money, use your own videotape and camera, and film me for free, fucker. Yeah, release a documentary about me. There you go. Yeah, it's the last time you were doing that for free. Oh, hang on. I'm mental, so do you know.
Yeah, sorry. I've offended you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go shoot a dog now. But yeah, my thing is, if someone says to me I didn't like that bit, and I would genuinely ask, because I was hoping you would critique me in the way back in the car, but not too harshly because I was on a high. But like, if someone says to me I didn't like that bit, what I'd be like, well, what could I do to learn from it? Like, so this guy who's a right wing comedian offending left wing people, and your man is the breast in the middle of the chicken trying to unite the two of them or something. I don't fucking know. But basically they're the same head and tail to me. They're operating off the same fucking joypad. There's an awful lot of references in there. But I think myself, I fuck it. Can we move on? Do you know?
We're just going around in circles here. I think it's contrived. Please prove me wrong. All right. And anyway, so let's move on from that. We can't really take any music because I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I'm sure there is. Yeah, there was someone else offended Jamie Bulger's mother, but we've done enough about being offended, haven't we?
Do you think the person who offended Jamie Bulger's mother were maybe the killers?
No, it's this guy. An Irish fella has made a film about the Jamie Bulger murder, and it's about the.
No, sorry. Who? So I sounded like a fucking an owl who just got molested. Who? I was in the middle of going, who would watch a film about that? My mind went, you'd watch a film about that. I'd watch a film. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. I'd watch a film about that. I don't like. I mean, I don't really want to be too insulting or too hurtful towards that. So can we move on? Yeah. Talk about something else. I don't because that's a horrible. I remember that. I remember that interview on the Late Show. It was a fucking horrible thing, man.
But just because I mentioned it, I'll say what it is. So this Irish fella has made a film about the transcripts of the interviews with the two guilty lads who killed Jamie Bulger, the child in Liverpool many years ago, and the mother of Jamie Bulger has said that she's really annoyed that he didn't get in touch with her about the film. Which, to be honest,
you think he would have?
No, I don't. I don't really? See why he has to. He's a filmmaker. He's not a policeman. You know, he's free to make a film about any subject he wants, and to be objective, really objective, then he doesn't have to get in touch with anyone. You know. Yeah. That's my opinion.
And you see, if Kate or Jerry McCann are listening to this, that's actually how you do it, guys. You actually don't kill your own child. Someone else does it. Just throwing it out there. You know?
What else is going on?
I'm glad we don't have an edit button.
You prick. You're going to get us shut down after the first ever live stream. Comedy question for you.
Yeah.
So look, it's the new year. People are still doing what maybe... I'd say a lot of people have probably crashed and burned on their resolutions already. Some people won't have, and they will have set a goal that they want to be better public speakers this year, or they want to try stand up and all like that. So kind of two questions, Seamus.
Right.
What drove you to get into stand up, and are there any possible wrong reasons to do stand up?
What drove me to do stand up? Oh my god, I'm going to sound like the biggest dick in the entire... for the first time ever on a podcast, I'm going to sound like a dick. No, you laugh. Most other times I sound like a cunt. So, I thought it looked easy. Being honest, if that was my original aspect, I was like, because I was very into Billy Connolly at the time, but this is before the internet. We actually had to go to hang out for books and magazine articles and shit, so you were piecing stuff together. And I thought all you had to do was go up and talk about your day or your life. And I made a complete balls of that until I hit 36. So I thought it was easy. I didn't realize how much pressure it was. I said, sure, all you do is get up and tell a couple of jokes, write stuff down, and I didn't realize there's a whole craft to it. You have to sit down. You have to. The first draft of your material is always going to be the draft that makes it to the stage. Eventually, when you get big enough to sell out a place. Any wrong reasons to do comedy? Oh, you're funny. You should try comedy.
Yeah.
yeah. Because no one ever says that to a woman. You're really good at sex. You should become a porn star.
I don't know. Maybe.
And my grandmother, Mr. Colin. But fucking. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I mean, that was it for me. And I had a bucket list before. Bucket lists were cool. Before fucking people dying took it away from me. I just wanted to try it. I always wanted to see if I could do it. And the worst thing happened to me. It was funny. I was funny when I went on stage the first time. But I don't lack the enthusiasm, the composure, or the balance to fucking make a serious go of it. And I'll get spurts where I'll be like, this is my time. And gigs, like I have 3 gigs in the next 3 weeks. That hasn't happened to me. That hasn't happened to me. And I have a gig on the 1st of February out in Clorglen. We're going to need an edit button for that one, so I won't discuss that one till I get close to the time. and I have the one in Manchester, which is 10 minutes, and that's probably just going to be me making fun of Ariana Grande or something. I don't know. And then I have a gig then in Clonakilty on the 7th of February. So hopefully something will come out of that. And my boss was very, very nice to me. My boss said, look, he says, man, if you get your gigs and stuff, I'll work them around you. He said, I might be able to give you that day off, the day of the gig, but I'll give you the following day off. So I can work around your comedy schedule. Awesome. And I was like, all right, cool. That's cool. I was like, how long has this been going on? And he was like, oh, you just couldn't come when I started. I was like, all right. So those times I wanted to record the podcast and you kept calling me fucking in was just,
good stuff. All right.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Would you ever try stand-up, Spud? Here's a question for you, man.
I think because I've said it so many times on the podcast that I wouldn't, then I shouldn't.
Why, man?
No, because I've been on stage plenty of times, so I know what that buzz is like. I've sang in enough bands to know what it's like to get up in front of a lot of people and to play music that they enjoy. That's a great buzz, like, it's wonderful, like, to get off stage and for people to tell you, Jesus, you were great, fair play to you. That song that you did, the third song you did, geez, I really like that one. What's it called? Where can I get your music? That's it. I mean, you feel 10 fucking foot tall, like.
See, with my type, but see, with my type of material, no one ever does that to me. Where did you come up? Where did you come up with the mother buying your Viagra stuff? Where did you come up with that?
I mean, it's different mediums, you know what I mean? I mean, to be honest,
you know what that's like? What you're saying? That's like those people when you've never been on a foreign holiday, and I've never been on a foreign sun holiday. People go, "Oh, wait, you go to Spain. It's a different sun." You're like, "What? What?" It's no.
That's not what I mean.
The heat out there is entirely different. I tell you now, it's like the heat from Ireland, but in a different sun. What are you fucking talking about?
No, but like maybe sometime I should do like a sneaky open mic somewhere and not tell anyone, and like not even tell you or my wife that I'm going to do it, and just do it just to experience it. I think that would be good, and I think you'd learn about it. But what I would be afraid of is that if it went well, I'd be afraid I'd go balls deep into it, and we have to move back to Ireland so I can do a comedy, So it would be better if it went really badly.
No, don't move back to comedy. To Ireland to do comedy, man. Fuck that shit. You'd probably offend some right-wing politician or some fucking right-wing comedian. And the two lads with plastic bags are probably going to kill us anyway. So
Twitter spats and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
There's
Twitter.
No,
in fairness, we don't do Twitter spats except for the one the other night with Jeremy Vine.
Yeah, Jeremy Vine wanted to do fisting with us or something, wasn't it? No, that's
whoever Ken is, Jock or the guy, I can't think of his name.
Ken.
Very, 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 very nice. He's a big fan of me, which either means he's bi or just fucking humorless.
But fair play to gingers, man. He could be into gingers.
It could be.
After all.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to ask him. Ken, this is the part of the episode that we have to thank you, because we're always on about how are we going to do that thing where people start taking notice of us. And he tagged the two of us in this fucking tweet about people I don't know doing things that I couldn't care about, getting nominated for stuff I didn't even know existed.
Podcast awards.
But there's no greater fucking award like a self award. That's masturbation to me. I'm a podcaster. If only we had an award for that. Oh yes, let's make an award for that. Right, and I'll nominate myself because I can.
Celebrate a wank.
Yeah. But we got talking, and my comment was these guys are basically high-fiving and fisting each other because of the one episode they've done this year that's got nominated. Well, every week on the comedy cast, and I had a gif of The Simpsons doing a home run. And apparently that stoked some fucking fire in people, because apparently English people are getting fisted enough over Brexit, so it was probably too close to home or something. I don't know.
Sure. Look, we'll see. Look, man, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, more people are gonna come on board. And
has anybody watching this? I'm not talking about the 12-year-old Filipino guy who's. Anyone?
I didn't check. I don't know how to check if anyone was watching it at all. If you open YouTube there, it doesn't give you anything. I can't find it. Nah, doesn't matter. Right.
See, on YouTube, I look distinguishedly half-faced because I'm a couple of seconds behind you, I think.
No, you shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. No, the dropped frames is small. Well, I hope this worked out. But anyway, if not, the audio is going to be good anyway. Seamus, we'll finish up. Man. We'll finish up. Where can people find you?
Everywhere. I'm not. I refuse to do this anymore. I don't get a single follow every week at Seamus No Jokes on Twitter. But I see your followers going up like the fucking clappers. Something's going wrong. You're fucking. You're paying people in Wexford.
I'm not paying nobody for nothing.
You fucking are.
No.
And then,
my Twitter doesn't really go up. No, my Instagram does alright. In fairness, that's because people like listening to short bits of the podcast. You can get all my stuff. Go to thecomedycast.com. You can get there's literally a couple of hundred previous episodes with stand-up comedians from all over the world and comedy professionals from all over the world, and all my links are on thecomedycast.com. So yeah, that's it, Seamus. Right, thanks for this, man.
No bothers, man. I mean, let's make it a regular thing.
Oh yeah.
Get more listeners. Maybe next week we'll sacrifice a virgin or something. Then we'll see what happens. I don't know how that's going to work through the medium of Skype, but we'll do our best.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, there'll be a video at least, so people will be able to see what we come up with.
Yeah, that's true. We'll be glad, man. This was awesome. We should definitely do it again.
All right, good luck.
All right, have a good one.